Hey, this is Brent with Vintage Statements, and today we're going to do a simple, easy, yet pretty cool wood frame design sign. So stick around. Alright, I had some leftover wood, so I created these simple frames, just 45 degree angle cuts, glued it together, nice and simple, nothing spectacular about it. We're going to sand this all down, make this nice and clean, stain it. I had some old backer wood from a dresser that, well, we had different designs for, so we took that piece off and I kept it because it's just strong enough where it doesn't flex on you. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw or paint on this. We're going to do like a little Mod Podge type glue adhesive to it, imprint a design on it, and well, we'll have a nice little picture frame. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to paint these, let this dry, and then we're going to scuff it up to give it a vintage look, so then we can imprint the picture onto it. So that's going to be our next step. Alright, so today I'm going to use some Behr Prime and Behr Ultra. It's Swiss white. I'm going to do it on those two. And then I've got a little bit of eggshell left, and I'm going to do the eggshell on this one. So that'll give us a total of 3. I've got 2 more frames in the garage, which we'll get to next. So, luckily I have 2 brushes, so I'm going to just paint them all up, and then we'll go from there, get these brushes clean, let these dry, and we can start working on the wood frame. Alright, while those are drying, I'm just going to scuff these up a little bit. Old 80 grit sandpaper. I'm not looking for perfection because I want it to look vintage and worn out and worn in. So we're just going to get rid of any glue that we see, any spots that are a little rough, things like that. Scuff them out a little bit. I'm even going to leave the sand marks in it, so it's going to be pretty cool. So what we're going to do is just stain these. I got mini wax. It's an early American stain, old rag. And well, we're going to get these all stained. We're going to let them dry, and then we can go back inside. Wait for it to warm up a little bit and let this paint dry, let the stain dry, and we can move on to the next step. We've let them dry, and now what we're going to do is scuff them up, give it a vintage feel to it. Got some old 80 grit sandpaper again, and we're just going to go with the grain of the pattern here and just knock off as much as you want, and we'll do the same here. So now we moved into my kitchen here, and here's the 3 designs that we've got. Now, the key to this is make sure when you print this that you flip it. Otherwise, as an example, your clock on here, when you're finalizing it, will look backwards. So it'll look backwards now, but when I put it on here, and get the reflection of it, it's gonna look right. So very key component there. I'd hate to see you do a whole project and then when you get the paper off of it, it's completely backwards. So I got them all set up here. I've got some matte gel, and I've got a foam brush, and I've got a straight edge, which is just the credit card, which will work just perfect for this. Another reason I like the sand is if you're gonna paint, is it takes the grooves out of the brush strokes so we can get a nice flat image on here. So we're just gonna start with one, work our way down, and well, we'll knock this project out pretty quick here. Let them dry, and now what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna use an old rag here. Gonna get them wet, nice and moist here, so the paper will turn a little bit darker color, showing that it's completely wet. So it started showing like that. So let's get this done on one here. Now it's gonna be a little bit of a mess because you're gonna be peeling that paper back or tearing that paper by scraping it. So just keep that in mind. So what we're gonna do is just start rubbing it off. Nice and light. You'll start seeing it just come through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry a little bit, find out where it's really white still, and I'll scuff it again, and then what we'll do is light sand it after we get that done. Alright, so we're back outside, in and out, in and out, in and out. So we're gonna just give these a nice little scuff sand. This is a 150 grit sandpaper that's been used, worn down even more. And we're just gonna finalize any of this paper, try to get a little bit more of it off, and also give it a little more of a vintage feel. We're not going heavy on it, we're just gonna scuff it. And then what we're gonna do is use our clear gloss on it to finalize. So let's get started. I'm here with Save the Winos, aka my wife. And what we've done is we've used a clear gloss just to finalize these off, we let it dry. We got our frames, we determined our backside, and what we're gonna do is place this down on it. We're keeping this a nice, simple project. I got a stapler, I got a hammer to knock those staples all the way down, and we're just gonna staple these in place. What's kind of nice is to have an additional set of hands so it doesn't move on you, and that's what Marie's here for. She's gonna just kind of hold it in place, and we'll just staple it into position.
Looks like I already did some progress there too.
And well, here's the final end. Pretty amazing, right? Simple project, took us a total probably less than 2 hours. Cool ideas is if you're at garage sales or something like that and they have old frames that you like the frames, bust it out, find some old thin wood, and well, you can make this with some simple project pieces, regular paper, some Podge, and well, a little bit of work.
Fun.
If you like this project and many of our others, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll keep doing some pretty cool projects like this.